Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Whew, hope you enjoyed that lovely brutal OC as we have returned. We have returned with our second half of the broadcast. We just wrapped up with the upper bracket. We just featured Erik going up against Shakti. We saw his match against Inexorable, and then Inexorable going to the ace match again against Master. A crazy back and forth ace match was featured, and now we're here in the lower bracket where we have rematches abound. Let's go. We have a rematch here, Erik versus Shakti. This is how we started the broadcast, and now we will continue it here once again in another best of 3. Let's go. Also, I did actually message Erik earlier. As I mentioned, it was after game 1, actually. After game 1, I left him a message. I was really curious about his opener, just because, again, I had not heard the intricacies about the double hatch opener. And yeah, I was able to learn and glean quite a bit about it from Erik. So we'll see if we get to indulge in it here as well, as we're going to be jumping into game number 1. We're going to be loading into Whispers of Gold. Let's go. Let us go. And again, we'll see if Erik will be relying upon that opener every game in the series like he did previously. We're here to find out. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Whispers of Gold, we have the Brazilian Zerg player, the Red Zerg, representing the CranKy Ducklings, as he is one of our own. It is Erik. He's one of Los Patos. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the Brazilian Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, representing Zimi's Gaming. It is Shakti. Here we go. Whew. Now again, this is going to be a rematch, so Shakti, if he hadn't experienced that build before, well, now he has some more experience with Erik. Now he's a little bit more familiar with it, and we'll see if he can keep up. Meanwhile, Erik going to be going for, interesting, a gas pool opener. Much more aggressive this time. Early gas into an earlier pool, into a delayed hatchery out of Erik. I mean, welcome one and all to Whispers of Gold. This map is known for having a very short rush distance by ground, for allowing for these aggressive builds to be more effective, and we'll see what Erik can get done. Now, with the early gases, we could go for early link speed, we can go for early roach warren, we can go for an extra worker in the gas for a Bane bust as well, but for now we're keeping only 2 workers in that gas, guys, so I'm curious as to what the gas is going to be spent on, and we'll see if Erik pulls out once he invests into link speed. If he invests into link speed. Shakti pokes in, sees the lack of expansion, sees the spawning pool, and will also get eyes on the gas geyser as well. So Shakti, now he's aware that he's going to be in a little bit of danger here. You can see him going for the gateway Cybercore before Nexus. Again, he's setting up his wall, getting ready, as he is aware of the links. Is aware. Now, as a result of the earlier Cybercore, it means he can make an earlier Adept. Links get spotted, but no Zealot. Oh, the Zealot was delayed. Just now shine the Zealot. Gonna be a later Zealot here from Shakti, only after realizing how many links were made. Meanwhile, Erik, he pulls out. Okay. He pulls out a gas. He's going into link speed, pulls out a gas. He's going to be joining from here. So he's only being aggressive with 6 links. Only 6 links. And he's trying to force an overreaction. I mean, again, Shakti, he did delay his expansion, but he did not throw down a second gateway. Only 1 gateway, so Zealot into Adept, into harassing across the map. Erik back at home. I'm assuming that he's going to go for a more standard response here, just because the earlier hatchery does mean less queens, and I feel like, I mean, against these depths, you do want the additional queen instead. Yep, there it is, second queen. Second queen is on the way. Settling in. As we're settling in, we can see Erik double expanding. He's double expands, getting his natural, getting his third base as well to make up for his delayed expansion. Likewise, Shakti going for a Stargate opener back at home. Stargate into most likely Oracle play. Now, before Shakti moves out, we can see him throw down a safety shield battery, even another gateway as well to reduce surface area on that Zealot, and then he moves out. Then he pushes. So really safe play here by Shakti. Erik does have a reputation, and Erik is making full use of that, as Erik is cutting corners, being greedy, taking a third base, and droning up. He only has 6 links. Overlord also confirms that the Adepts have yet to move out. Overlord going into the main, and will confirm the tech of choice. Now, in the previous match where they faced off against each other, we saw Shakti open up with Glaive Adepts. Here, Erik confirms no Glaives, Stargate play instead. So he is aware. Immediately Spores. Spores are on the way. Spore the natural, Spore in the main. Queens are amassing, but again, there's only 2 queens. Third queen just now in production. And this is not going to be an easy hold here for Erik. The Spore looks like going to finish up in time. Just in time. Alright, he pulls away. Oracle's going to be zoned back. Tipping in between the bases. Going for the natural. Gets a drone. Gets one. Gets... Oh, not quite 2. Taking a lot of hull damage. Oh my god. Whew, almost goes down. Brutal damage here for Shakti. Has to get the hell out of there. Behind this, going for a 3rd base. And as he gets a 3rd, that is an earlier Twilight Council. Gateway Explosion. This does feel like Glaive Adepts. It could be one of 2 things. Either early Glaives or early Blink. Blink would be a bit of a safer response. Glaives, of course, more aggressive. Our eyes are on Shakti. What do we go for? Meanwhile, Erik's still droning. Droning, transfers over. Taking his gases. Roach Warren's on the way. And we'll see what Shakti goes for. I can see an argument for either upgrade. And there it is, Glaives. Okay, so he's going to be the aggressor. Very committed here by Shakti. Going into Glaive Adepts. Now, unfortunately for Shakti, there's a Roach Warren. Roach Warren is done. Roach is kind of masked. Gases are being taken. And, ooh, Erik, instead of making roaches, he's taking up even further, going for the Hydra Den. Quite greedy. Greedy play here by Erik. Going for the Hydras instead. Adepts are moving out. Adepts, they get spotted, they get scattered, and we need roaches. Roaches are amassing as we speak. Spine Crawler's on the way. Yeah, strong reaction here by Erik. He does fully wall off the natural. As is getting a 4th. And there are just so many Adepts. Can Shakti overwhelm? Does catch the Queen. Queen gets caught out. Glaives isn't even done. Good start so far. Shakti making his way in between the bases. Oh. Gets one of the roaches. Gets one. The others are exposed. You see Erik trying to build up. Spinecrawler is now done. And more roaches on the way. Collapsing on the army. Adepts do shade past. And the Queen does take down the Oracle just barely before going down. So a nice pick off. Adepts do not shade in. Erik is all over this. Keeps re-walling. Is able to keep re-walling in time. But in the Heaven fight, the Roaches are struggling. They are struggling a little bit. They have to pull back to the Spinecrawler. To pull back once again. Shakti shading. Oh no! Barely denied the shade. Yeah, Erik, he's all over this. Denies the shade. Chasing down the Adepts. And Erik, he will shut this down. And behind this, Erik, he's not done. Roach speed. Roach speed is on the way. That means that Erik, he can counterattack. Once he cleans this up, he can move out. Can and will. Adepts recall back home. Back at home, what is it to defend? Mainly Adept. There is one Immortal on the way, though. There is an Immortal. There's a second Robo as well, so double Immortal production is on the way. Erik, can he hit first? But now Erik, he's droning. He's droning up. Getting more upgrades. Double expanding. Getting a 4th. Getting a 5th. And Erik, he's backing off. He's backing off. He's droning. He is not going for a counterattack. And now we can settle into a longer game state. Now, what I will say, coming into the mid-game here, Erik is in a better position. Erik, he has a higher base count. He has a better droning. He is still saturating, of course. And he most likely won't invest into his army until he's done droning up. And he should be free to do so. Like, Shakti's stuck at home. He's stuck at home. After the failed aggression, he can't really move out. And Shakti should be able to get into Storm. As the Temple Archives is now done. Lings, they scout, they check the army. It's a little bit mortals. Lurker Den is on the way. Now, can Erik morph in lurkers in time to defend, or will Shakti strike first? Because Shakti, I assumed he was getting storm. No storm. No storm. This means that Shakti is going to be moving out first. He's moving out. He's already pushing. Has a terrifying army. Moving out without storm. And Erik, he'll have to defend without lurkers. Oh boy. It's not going to be easy. Erik going for a Ling Roach counterattack, catching reinforcements. Hydras, they do pick off one Arc. No, barely not. Archon survives. But Erik, he gets across the map, depowers the gateways. Nice, the warp in, hits the mineral line. Probes are going down. At the same time, this is a death blow of an army. Shakti is becoming all in. He's that much more committed. Diving into the bases. Boys are being pulled. Gets one Archon. One Archon goes down. Second Archon as well, but the Immortals, they do so much in the back line. That's 3 Immortals, sorry, 4 Immortals. There's so many. So many Immortals. Despite that, the Archons are falling, and there's not much support. Where are the Adepts? Where are the Zealots? Where's the Gateway Army? No support whatsoever. Lings, they come in for this round. And Erik, he holds. He shuts down the army. Back at home, defensive warpins were forced. No reinforcements. And Erik, he doesn't just bring down the base, so he brings down the army. Now he's going for the bases. He's going for the 4th. Lings, they peel off towards the expansion. I just push in. Storm is done. Not bad. Zone's away. Another probes. They transfer a little bit too soon. There's another storm. Decent connection. The expansion is surrounded. The 4th bases should fall. Once again, nice storm in the Hydras. Shakti does break out. Does at least try to. Still stuck on 3 bases. Building on more High Templar. Building on more storms. And enough time has passed where, here we go, the lurkers, they have arrived. The lunkers are here, the hive is done, we have hive upgrades on the way. Lurker range already complete. Getting to Hydra lunge. Getting to all the upgrades. And Shakti is in trouble. And again, he had to get more damage done earlier. He didn't get any drones here. With his Adept harass. With his Adept follow-up. As he moves out, Lings, they move in. Hoping to force a cancel. And there it is. And with that cancellation, there's no turning back. There's no turning back. Not anymore. It's all or nothing for Shakti. Either he breaks Erik or he dies trying. That's a lot of lurkers. That's how many? That's 14 lunkers. So he rotates. Oh, storm pops up. Another storm as well. Can go for the expansion. Does peel off towards the 5th. Erik has to evacuate. Expansion is going to go down. Erik, he doesn't flinch. Going for a counterattack instead. Catching out the Zealots. Going for the 3rd. Hoping to force a recall. All the lurkers are in position. And 2 Immortals go down. He cannot push into this. Oh, the trick one is brutal. GG gets called. And Erik, he will take game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Will take game number 1. off of a really chaotic start as well. As a reminder, it was gas first. Gas into pool, into early Ling aggression. We saw that Shakti, he followed up with Glaive Adepts, and Erik, he shut it down. He completely shut it down. He made sure that the Adepts did not get into the bases, did not get into the mineral lines. Erik was all over it, and Shakti fell behind from there after the failed Glaive Adept build. And now we're getting into game number 2. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of King's Cove, we have the Brazilian Zerg player, the red Zerg representing the CranKy Ducklings. It is Erik. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the blue Protoss player from Brazil representing Ximius Gaming down in the series. We'll see if we can bounce back in this series on Force the Ace match. It is Shakti. We go. As Erik is going for his 15 hatchery. Getting a drone. The hatchery is set up. Again, welcome one all to King's Cove. King's Cove being one of the larger maps in the map pool. Starting off with hatch first, and this would be a better map to open up with an earlier second hatchery. I'm here for it. I'm ready for it. Let's go. What do you have for us? There it is. Okay, it's going to be a hatch into pool, into hatch, question mark, delayed gas. If I'm not mistaken, that's typically, yeah, there we go. The drone does move out, and Erik, he sets up the second macro hatchery. Let's go. Now, I was probing Erik's mind about this, because I was very curious as to the purpose and the pros and cons of this build. Just because I mentioned before that this is a build that Erik came up with, that other Zerg players have been emulating since then, at the start of the year, or since the start of the year. The pros and cons here, we did already point out that it does mean that your second queen is very delayed, so you're going to be stuck with one queen early on. So this is considered to be a greedy build. A greedy build, as you do delay queens, it does mean that you're a little bit more vulnerable early on. You have a weaker early game because of this, and you're more vulnerable to aggression, but this does give you kind of like a boost in the mid game. What this does here, first things first, larva wise, you're actually even or equivalent to making another queen, because instead of an inject, you have an extra hatchery with the larva available to you. On top of that, it does give you extra creep to spread out to gain a greater foothold in towards the mid game. Likewise, long term gives you more larva as well, as you have more bases, of course. So in the end, it is more designed to get you into a boosted mid game. That is the hope, that is the goal. Here we go. It also saves you an overlord as well, as we mentioned. Like, as the hatchery gives you extra creep, so saves you an overlord, gives you more creep, gives you equivalent larva. The downside, again, less queens for less defense. As the third is on the way. Meanwhile, Shakti going to be opening up Stargate. It's going to be opening up with the Oracle. The Oracle has initially. Again, the gas is also delayed, so link speed is delayed as well. Here we go. And as we said, a big shout to Cyan in the chat. Fala galera. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the raid. Hope you had a great stream. Had a great ladder session. Hope you had a great time. Welcome one and all to Amantes de StarCraft. Ooh, a Brazilian monthly tournament. Hey, there you go. It's relevant. But yes, we are catching up with Amantes. ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? Obrigado. Obrigado, papi. Obrigado. Thank you so much for the raid. As Lings are here to delay, to deny the probe. Ooh. As the expansion is going to be thrown down, but it was off center. No. Yeah, forced to cancel as well. Rough start here for Shakti. Behind this, Twilight Council. So Stargate, Twilight Council before expansion. This screams Glaive Adepts. Oh, my apologies. Twilight Council into Forge before expansion. This looks a little bit different. This could even be +1 in charge. We'll keep an eye on Shakti. Regardless, aggressive build as we're going for earlier tech. As the Oracle moves out. Behind this, Erik building up. And a tumor. Does catch a tumor at least, but the queens are whipping out just in time to defend. We have our 4 queen setup. Spreading out more creep. Roach Warren has been thrown down. And gases are being taken. Now, we could see Erik embrace mutas from this point, but mutas would be, actually that would hurt him more than anything. He scouts, he confirms the Nexus is on the way, but he should realize how late it is, and it is going to be Pulse on in charge. So very aggressive, very committed here by Shakti, getting up to 4, soon to be 6 gates. Ay, ay, ay. Have a 6-gate setup, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see another 2 more gateways and go into an 8-gate all-in. As long as they catch 2 transferring workers, not bad. A couple of workers go down. Zealots are being hidden here in the natural. Erik has no idea. There's that Spire. Is rushing into mutas, but again, I don't think mutas are really going to be a factor here. He needs roaches, more than anything. Does need roaches. Zealots move out. Zealots, they are spotted. He knows. He does see the Zealots. Does need to back up those roaches. Catching out to Adepts, not bad. Delaying the push. Zealots are forced to chase. You can see 7 roaches out in production for Erik. Needs as many roaches as possible. Spine crawlers on the way as well. We get a spine at the 3rd. We get a spine in the natural. Getting all the spine crawlers. Confirming no gases. And here comes the army. Here comes the essentially all-in. Oh, nice positioning though. Very nice SimCity here with that hatchery. Cells being forced back. Oh, nice surround here on some of these roaches. Let's over the kiting is solid. Erik, he kites away. More roaches trickling in. He doesn't get surrounded though. Yeah, he is locked down. Erik Blue bleeding out a lot of roaches here. Sweet out. Still though, plenty of reinforcements and no economic damage. The Spine Crawler has been able to hold its own. No drones going down. Erik is still on 65 workers. And these cells have to do more damage. They needed to do more. Shakti, he needed a mineral line. Needed something. Some kind of setup here. More cells get surrounded. And there it is. He defends long enough to actually afford those mutas. He can get away with it. Erik, he's held. He's survived. Mutas is now on the way. And Shakti, he's not ready for the mutas. He's not ready. As Erik's goal here should just be to distract. To poke in, to distract the main army. Keep Shakti busy. Potentially trade against the Zealots. Mark ones have arrived. Forcing Erik back. Does force him back. Last again, rulings, and yeah, GG gets called. I believe mutas, they hit the mineral line. The mutas are revealed, and Erik, he will take the series 2-0, advancing on to the next round. GG. Whew. Oh my god. GG, well played again. 12 mutas, they hit the natural at the same time. There was just nothing to defend. There was nothing in position. Shakti, he was overwhelmed, and Erik will claim the series. GG. GG, well played. Whew, again, really cool to see this new build from Erik, and again, there's definitely uses for it. I can see it really working quite well on larger maps, whether it's, you know, maps like Frostline, maps like Abyssal Reef, alongside King's Cove and Neon Violet Square. On these smaller maps, does feel quite greedy. It feels quite difficult to get away with. We did see Erik attempt to go for that build against a Terran player in Inexorable with very mixed success, with no success. He was picked apart. But here against Protoss definitely is a lot more viable, and we'll see how Erik performs in his rematch, because he takes down Shakti And Erik, he advances on to the lower bracket finals. Lower bracket finals, a player is waiting for him, has been patiently waiting for him. It is going to be a rematch, another ZvP between Erik and Inexorable. Let's go.